Hello dear friends, this is Anton Birula from the Luteduo. First of all, I would like to thank you all for your interest to our channel, for your support, for your subscriptions, for your likes, for your interest to our music, for buying CDs, for joining our lute class. And today I decided to make lesson 8. I was thinking that sometimes it happens we meet a person or we feel attracted to someone, or maybe we're called for a job interview and we meet these people and they suddenly say, well, all is fine, but your ornaments on Baroque lute are not really, they're not good. They're not natural, they sound labored and harsh or something. They're not precise enough. So that's really, to avoid this embarrassment, I decided to make this lesson 8 and dedicate it to very basic technique of the left hand when playing ornaments. So this is at least what I think is important, and you can see if it's as important for you, if it helps. I hope it helps. So in the first place, we're all coming from classical guitar. Maybe not all of us, but many of us have experience with classical guitar. That affects very much, maybe even unconsciously, we do things which we think are correct on the classical guitar. The classical guitar has very high tension on the strings. It has thicker strings, so therefore pull-offs sound really okay, and they sound even very good sometimes on classical guitar. While on the lute that's not the case, because the first string is very thin. The calluses here on the fingers make the surface of the left hand a little bit harsh. So it's very difficult to get the ornaments sound this way. In the first place, I thought it's important to pay attention to the feature of our left hand technique, which is application of force and release of force. So application of force is very clear. We do it very well, and like the crocodile has many tons on the jaws when they close, but we can take a shoelace and he cannot open the jaws. So that's how more or less our left hand works. The application is great, so we even put more pressure often than needed, but the release is a problem, because the more we put force, the more difficult it is to release. And actually the speed, the precision, the brightness of our technique depends as much, or maybe even this is more important, to get off the keys, off the fingerboard. And I would like you to think a little bit about this, how that happens. And now about playing ornaments. So as said, let's try to forget that pull-off really exists. So there is no pull-off, but there is takeoff, which I would like to pay attention to. So for instance, being on the fret, let's say, second and third with first two fingers, let's say, first finger, second finger. The exercise is how we release the finger and how much sound is left. Pay attention, I'm not talking about playing fast notes, I'm talking about playing fast movements. So we release and there is sound remaining. You see? Or on the first string. So you see how much sound is remaining. If it sometimes in the beginning maybe there is no sound, but when you practice, you feel that there is more sound. For instance, different fingers are giving us more efficiency, like 1-3 for instance on the neighboring frets. Is okay. So very slow notes and getting off. Not good. Now there is sound. So first I would meditate about this. So slow notes, fast release, and listen to the sound which remains after what you have done. So this is the first thing to pay attention to. The second thing is to pay attention that we are really well aligned on the string. And now I will tell you a little bit about what I do to get more sound. So again, I'm not making any pull off, but the first finger is pushing a little bit up on the string while the second finger remains. So that's the first thing to try to feel. So now what I do is, so now simple pull off, nothing happens. Okay, and now my first finger is pushing the string a little bit up. You see? So this is a very delicate matter. You can't really do it right away. Maybe it will not work right away. But you just try to feel what happens when you give a little bit of push with the first finger tip up while the finger is getting off the string. You get much more sound. Another thing is, after this part is clear, try to meditate what happens if you first give a little bit of pressure with the second finger, a little bit, give him down, so you pull down a little bit, but before the pluck, and then from this position get off. That's a bit more complicated, but also that gives a little bit more sound. And together, so that you give a contrary motion. The first finger pushes a little bit up, the third finger or the second finger gives a little bit down. So they're just in contrary motion, very gentle. You see? You immediately get nice response. And now multiple trill. Even if in the beginning we give, it gives us already a very, very nice response. So just to get this feeling will help you later play the ornaments. For instance, also, for instance, I play on the third string, you see, or I don't even use the right hand. You see, so I would advise you to think about these little tricks and try to get this feeling in your left hand. So this is the basics which you can use to have natural sound when taking off the fingers of the strings when playing ornaments. Another thing which I would advise you to think is a little bit about the thumb, about its position behind the fingerboard, because we don't talk on the lute so much about it, while on the violin, for instance, it's a big issue what happens to the thumb. For instance, when playing the ornament with the fourth finger to the first finger, for me, it sometimes makes sense to move the thumb sidewards, and then you get much more force on the pinky. You see? So Also important to feel where it works best to get the best result on the ornaments. That's it. Hope that helps. Try to meditate about the ornaments you play. Try to see what you can do, because later at certain point I will make a lesson about more complex ornaments in French music or in the music of Weiss and Bach. All this, of course, is applicable on the theorbo, also maybe on the Renaissance lute. And definitely this technique and this thinking helps you play nice ornaments on the classical guitar. Because on the classical guitar we often start pulling off before we explore other possibilities. So these possibilities will let you also play ornaments maybe with a milder pull off and give more efficiency to the ornaments you are going to play. That's been Anton. Wish you all the best. Good practice. Let's stay in touch. We will be thankful for your comments and ideas, what you would like to listen in the coming lessons. Greetings from Anna, and good luck. Bye.